What's happening, spreads? How are we doing? I hope you're all doing good. I wanted to shoot this quick video for you on non-payers, people that don't pay. I did this on Wednesday. I did a video on Wednesday that I wanted to put out on the group and on YouTube, and it went tits up. And for whatever reason, the audio, I couldn't hear myself when I played it back. I spent like 15 minutes rambling on, and when I played it back, it didn't work out. So I've got up early today. I've come into a different room, and I'm hoping that it'll be better acoustics and you can hear what I'm saying. So non-payers when you've plastered somebody's property or room or whatever it is, and you're struggling to get your cash, they're not playing ball. It's quite common. I bumped into Ricky from Coventry Plastering and Rendering Supply. Oh, you Ricky? How you doing? Well, pal. We were having a chat yesterday. He came and dropped some gear off for me. Appreciate that, mate, by the way, dropping that off for me. And yeah, we were having a chat, and I don't know how we got onto the topic, but he was telling me that when he was younger, he did a job a few doors down from where my job was, and he was telling me how he struggled to get paid from the customer, and he put it down to being young and inexperienced. He's been in business a long time. He's doing very well, and I was asking him about like his payment terms and stuff, and he said, look, I don't fuck about anymore when it comes to getting paid. So he does a lot of big external render jobs and stuff like that, and he was just chatting about how as soon as the scaffold goes up, he gets a payment. As soon as a render comes off the wall, he gets another payment, and he'll break it down. He'll break his jobs down into chunks like that, and he'll take interim payments really regularly, probably weekly. And although I'm in a different market to Ricky, I'm doing smaller scale internal jobs. I said that I operate in the same way as you know. I take 25% deposit, and so we're having a quick chat about that. But at the end of the day, it's about taking control of the cash flow and trying to keep it weekly and trying to keep it regular is what basically is the gist of where I'm getting at with this video. Because there was a recent post, I think it was earlier this week or was it last week, where one of the members, sorry, I got a bit of a frog in my throat this morning, just still necking this coffee. Yeah, I think it was either last week or earlier this week, someone put a post up, basically it plastered somebody's house and he's owed like £2,500 or whatever it was, and the customer's not playing ball, and basically giving him a snag list and saying, I'm not happy with this, I'm not happy with that. And it's quite a common thing. I've been through it before, and you guys watching probably have had the odd customer, and it's quite common on the groups, isn't it? Not just Trial Talk, but other Facebook groups. You'll see posts, lads that have completed jobs and they're saying, look, customer's not paying me, what do I do, and all that kind of thing. But I just wanted to put my thoughts across on it. I'm not going to give fucking legal advice on here, because that's not my forte, but as a tradesman, self-employed tradesman, I can give you a few pointers what works for me. Ricky's, I've already said what he does, and probably most of you that have been in the game a long time, you probably do the same thing. I know a lot of spreads go room for room with plastering internal. That's obviously a really smart way of operating. You do one room, you don't do the next room till they've paid you for that room. Common sense way of operating. So you never owed in any more than £700 or £800, whatever it is, throughout the business. So you never owed more than that amount. It doesn't build up basically into silly money. And also, when you operate like that, you've done one room for them, your kit's on the job, you started, and you've got a bit of collateral there. You've got a bit of bargaining power where they want their room, they want their house finished, you want your money, and it's a sort of it's a game of give and take, if you like, between the tradesman and the customer. The worst way you can operate is going in on the verbal, on the handshake. Yeah, no problem, sound, I'll start Monday. Plastering an entire house, for example, and then putting your bill in at the end, and you stood there with your fingers crossed, hoping and praying that they read the invoice and then they pay you the invoice quickly. Problem with that scenario is they've got what they want now. You know, I'm not trying to paint customers to be, you know, nasty characters. We all know most, if not all, of our customers are honest, decent people, aren't they? You know, you do the job and they pay you the monies. But the issue we've got is you do get that small percentage that do fuck you about for whatever reason. You can bend over backwards for them. You can, you know, jump through the hoops and snag the job and do whatever they want, and they still won't play ball, and they'll still give you a hard time. So I just wanted to talk about what can we do in that scenario to try and repair the relationship, basically, because a popular response to these posts that I've noticed from spreads, because we're all fucking alpha dogs, is go around there, smash your fucking work off the wall, and get your materials back. And you're quite comical reading through the responses. And to be fair, when you are wronged, and when you've done a job and you owe money and you're not getting that money, when you're in that position, and I've been there as well, you do feel like that. You know, you feel like, you know, you want revenge, don't you? You want to get your own back. But the problem is with feelings and business, they don't go together. So we've got to use our heads. Keep your feelings in your back pocket. Think about it, because if you go around there smashing people's houses up, all it's going to do, it's going to ruin your reputation. Firstly, you know, if there's one way to scare off potential new business and new customers, it's, you know, getting a reputation for being the local psychopath. So don't turn up there, you know, at midnight with a Kango, threatening to strip the walls back, because it ain't going to do any favours for your business or your reputation. You'll probably be done for criminal damage and all the rest of it. So try and keep your emotions at bay, and let's use our heads and think about what we're doing. It would be nice to do that. It would make you feel better for a day, but then obviously the repercussions of it's not going to be good. It's not going to end well for us. So yeah, again, I'm not going to go legal. All I'll say on the legal side of it is, from my own experiences, get everything in writing. Once you do a quote, once you've popped out and you've had a look at somebody's job, okay, get it on the email or the text or even WhatsApp, whatever you choose, whatever platform you like to use for your quotes. Get everything bullet pointed. Cover your ass. Make sure you bullet point everything that you agreed to do, and fire it over to them, because then that's your evidence. Then, okay, that's your written quote, and then if they agree, then that is contracted. So I was in a situation that I mentioned on one of the comments where I was having problems with a customer a few years back. And all I did, I called. When a few weeks went by and I was having issues, so I called Trading Standards up and had a chat with them, and they're really helpful. They pointed me in the right direction, gave me some free legal advice, and they also let me know what my rights were as a tradesman. And they gave me a few hints and said, look, send this email. I took their advice. I did that. It included a threat of loss of earnings as well. And it worked, and within 10 days I had my money, so I didn't need to go down the legal road. So but yeah, this video, it's more about our own mental health really, and how not being paid, how it can affect us mentally when we're running a business. So you know, if you're in a position where you've completed a job for somebody and they owe you a couple of grand, and you got a family to feed and bills to pay, and you're not seeing that money and they're ghosting you and they're not paying, what starts to happen is you start taking these problems home with you, and start taking your work home, and then it'll eat into your personal life. So how can we, as self-employed tradesmen, how can we sort of snap ourselves out of that negative thinking, that stress? It's always a stress, isn't it? If you're owed money and it's not coming in and your funds are running low, it's a constant stress. So I just wanted to quickly talk about a couple of things we can do within our plastering businesses that can, number one, prevent this shit from happening in the first place, okay, and number two, it will protect, it'll give like a defence mechanism really in our businesses to try and weed out these characters that might not have the best intentions for us, if you like. Say most of our customers are, you know, salt of the earth. You do the job, they pay you, and they're happy, and you're happy. But you do get some that do slip through the net. Not so nice characters that hire people in. They have absolutely no intention of paying you, and we've got to. It's our job really to protect ourselves from these characters. So, what I do is I use the payment terms template. And I also try and sniff them out on the quote. So the first defence we've got is we can actually go out to these jobs when we're quoting. We can meet the customer and have a chat with them and get a vibe off them. And if you feel there's something off here, I don't like them. There's something not right with them. You know, they might have it might be something they've said, the way they speak to you, the way they look at you, their arrogance, anything. If you're getting a bad vibe off a customer, you can't quite put your finger on it and something ain't right, what I'd say is just walk away. Just leave the deal on the table, because if you're having that vibe on the quote, you know, and if you've started a job and now they owe you money and you invested, that situation's probably just going to get worse. You've got to make sure that when you're going in and quoting, there's a mutual respect, okay, between yourself and the customer, and you know there's a rapport going and it's healthy. If it's a case of they're talking down to you, or they're telling you what you're going to do, and you know, telling you the spec, telling you where you're going to start and how you're going to do it, and basically telling you how to do your job, and telling you how much it's going to cost, and if they start trying to go down that road, just be polite, say, oh yes, no problem, I'll get the quote to you, and then just drop them a message a couple of days later, and just say, look, I'm really sorry, I've had a big job come in, I ain't going to be able to get onto it for you, and just politely let them go, because if it starts off bad, it will probably end bad. That's my experience with these customers. So let them go and get, you know, someone off fucking Gumtree who's going to do a shit job, and just let them go and do their thing. You do your thing. You remain professional, and stick with the decent customers that are going to, you know, see the value that you have, see the skills that you have, and pay you for them skills, and not try and devalue you. So that's the first thing I'd say is sniff them out on the quote. If you get a bad vibe, walk away. Second form of defence is the payment terms template. I've done a video on this before. I've chatted about this before. If you agree to do a job for somebody, okay, and they've said all systems go, you know, we're happy with the quote, when can you do the job? Once you've arranged a date with them and agreed on a date, it's really important that you then fire in your payment terms immediately. It's no good chucking in your payment terms halfway through a project when you've already started and they owe you money and the relationship's going a little bit tits up. You need to get these payment terms in either when you quote, which I know some lads do that, they have a small print on the quote, or once they've accepted your quote and you've sorted a date, you can then get the payment terms in immediately after and say, look, here's the payment terms, and it has to include how and when you get paid, okay? And if you want to go 30 days, it's unlikely that you want to. Some lads are happy to go 30 days. If you're going to go 30 days, make sure you've included that within the small print. I personally actually put payment on completion, and I take a deposit on booking. Okay, so, and it's payment is due on the day that I send the invoice in. There's no fucking 7 days, 10 days, 30 days. It's due. The money's due when I've plastered your house, okay, and I've loaded the van and I've swept up. The money's due. That's what works for me. I need weekly payments. Most of us that are sole traders that have got 1 or 2 gang setups, we need weekly payments. We need weekly cash flow, don't we? So the only way we're going to get that is if we demand that and state that in our terms. We're not going to just leave it for the clients to be kind and think, oh, let's give them some money, because they're not going to. Okay, they've got their bills, they've got their busyness and their lives and all their expenses, going on, so they're not going to prioritise us as a cost unless we demand it and state it in our terms. So the reason that the deposit payment works for me personally is I've found that if you book a job in and then you say, look, 25% up front, 75% at the end, if they dispute that, if they say I'm not paying 25%, what I've experienced is it's only happened once in like 6 years or 7 years, however long I've been doing it. What I've found is if they dispute or quibble the terms, then it's often because they don't plan on paying you. They're not very good payers anyway, so they're either going to pay you late or they're going to fuck you about. So the payment terms works really well. The customers you want is where they trust you, you trust them, and it's fine. And you put your terms in, they say, oh, absolutely fine, no problem. And they go, there you go, and they pay it. Because number one, they've got money. Okay, they've got money there reserved for this project. Because not all customers, believe it or not, do have money. Some people will hire tradesmen, they don't actually have any money. I've got a mate that did a job for somebody. It turns out they were completely broke and they were spinning everything on cards and trying to pay the tradesmen through credit cards, for fuck's sake. So they never actually had any money. So that's another job for the booking deposit, is they'll test the waters for you, and okay, they've got the money and they're willing to pay, you know, when you need the money in there. So 2 defence mechanisms there. Sniff them out when you're quoting, get your payment terms in and test the waters with the booking deposit, and also get all that in writing as well. So if they send you the deposit, send over the deposit terms and a receipt of payment as well. So everything's fair and transparent and everyone's clued up. So the customers know now, okay, when he's done this part of the job, I need to pay him. And you know, in your mind, when I finish this phase, I'm going to get a payment. And it's all in writing and everyone's clued up. If you just go in with the handshake, you know, I'll do this, it's 500 quid, and when I've finished, I need to be paid. Because it's verbal, verbal information can just, you know, it's up in the air, isn't it? It's not set in stone, so there's nothing to refer to apart from you saying, well, you said this, or them saying, well, you said this, and it's not set in stone. So we need to get it in writing, get all your stuff in writing, and that way, hopefully, it'll protect you, protect yourself, and you and your customers can refer to your emails, and you can discuss it and say, look, this is what we've agreed, blah blah blah. Last thing I want to say now, because I'm rambling on, and the lads are outside, I think I need to get going. The last thing I want to say is look after your headspace. Protect your headspace when you're owed money, because it's easy to get into this mindset of like, you know, fucking revenge. Oh, fucking wankers, they haven't paid me. You know, who do they think they are? And we get into like a negative spiral. I have. So I'm talking about my own experiences here when I'm owed money. And all I'd say is focus on your future prospects. Focus on your business. Try and get in some decent sized jobs in the diary. Pull some deposits off them. And focus on the customers that are going to see you and value you for what you're worth and your skills, and there'll be, like I say, there'll be a mutual respect there. So focus on the decent clients, okay, and try and shrink down how much space that these non-payers are taking up in your head, because really you don't want them being a problem in your life. You just want them in the background, okay. You don't want them being a massive problem for you in your life. So if you can get some decent jobs booked in, I'm not saying ignore the problem, you still got to take action on the problem, but don't let it fill your headspace too much, and try and remain upbeat and focus on your customers and pleasing them, and try and shrink down the amount of space that these people are taking up in your head. It helps if you've got a reserve, obviously. Because the real problem here is that it's not so much that they haven't paid on time, it's that we've run out of money, and that's what's causing our stress and getting us stressed out, isn't it? We've run out of money. So if you're self-employed, you've got to get some in the bank. You know, I'm better at giving this advice than taking it. So I'm guilty of this myself, but try and get some cash in the bank, try and get a bit of a reserve, so that when these people do have you over a barrel, if it happens, at least you've got a little bit of reserve there, Okay, and again, focus on your future customers, your future jobs, where you can focus on them, because at the end of the day, these customers, these are the ones that are going to be able to get money into your business the fastest, and the most regular. So rather than trying to chase money from these people that owe you the money, try and pull money from creating value, and focus on these decent customers, and you can quickly recover and get these earnings back. So hope that helps, guys. Anyway, I'm going to go. Matt's outside. Have a top day, and what are your comments on non-payers? And don't say I'm going to go around and smash the fucking plaster off the walls. Okay, have a good day, boys. Nice one.